The last train always felt different. Not quieter, not emptier, just aware. I left the hospital at 1:37 a.m., the automatic doors sighing closed behind me. 12 hours of fluorescent lighting, stale coffee, and the slow hum of dying machines clung to my skin. The city was colder than it should have been for late spring. Wind tunneled between buildings and carried the distant wail of sirens. Everyone was on edge. They'd found another body that morning, third in 2 weeks. The news wouldn't stop replaying the same words. Female victims, precise incisions, no signs of struggle. The police called them organized, calculated, clinical. I pulled my coat tighter and headed down into the subway. The stairwell smelled like damp concrete and burnt metal. A digital sign flickered overhead, warning commuters to remain vigilant. A grainy image of a hooded figure flashed on the screen beside the words, "Wanted for questioning." The train screeched into the station. I stepped inside and took a seat near the middle of the car. There were only 6 of us scattered along the benches. A man in a business suit asleep against the window. A teenager blasting music too loudly through his headphones. A woman clutching her purse like it was oxygen. And him. He entered just before the doors slid shut. Tall, dark hoodie, baseball cap pulled low. He didn't sit. He stood near the door and stared. Not openly, not boldly, just watched. My pulse didn't quicken. I've always had a steady pulse. The train lurched forward. First stop. 2 people got off. He stayed. Second stop. The teenager left. He stayed. Third stop. The woman with the purse hurried out, glancing back at him as if she felt it too. He shifted slightly closer to me. I turned my head and met his gaze. He didn't look away this time. There's something about being watched that most people misunderstand. They think it feels like fear. It doesn't. It feels like exposure, like someone is trying to see beneath your skin. The train rattled into the tunnel between stops, lights flickering overhead. The conductor's voice crackled unintelligibly through the speaker. I counted the seconds between the flickers. He moved closer, close enough now that I could see the sweat forming at his temple. He was nervous, interesting. Fourth stop. The businessman stumbled off, still half asleep. Now it was just the 2 of us. He walked down the aisle and sat directly across from me. The car felt smaller. "You shouldn't be out this late," he said quietly. His voice trembled. I tilted my head. "Neither should you." He swallowed. "You know what's happening around here." "I do." His jaw tightened. His hand slipped into his jacket pocket. A weapon, maybe. Or maybe just the courage he thought he had. The train slowed into the 5th stop. My stop. I stood. He stood immediately after. The platform was nearly empty. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. A transit officer lingered near the stairs, scanning faces, tense. There were flyers taped to pillars. Another grainy image of the suspect. A woman this time. Dark hair, neutral expression, eyes impossible to read. Her resemblance was vague, deliberately vague. I walked toward the exit. My heels clicked softly against the tile. He followed, not rushing, matching my pace. The transit officer's gaze drifted over us, then away. No alarms, no shouts. The stairs to the street were closed for maintenance. A temporary sign pointed toward a narrow side corridor leading to an alternate exit. Dim, under construction. Of course. I stepped into the corridor. He did too. The sound changed immediately. Echoes deeper, footsteps louder. No cameras down here yet. Wires dangled from unfinished ceilings. Halfway down the hall, he quickened his pace. "So it's you," he said behind me. I stopped walking, slowly turned. He was closer now, eyes wild, hands still inside his jacket. "I've been watching the late trains," he continued. "You get on at the same time every night. Same car, same stop." He took another step. "They said the killer works in medicine, knows anatomy." I smiled softly. "You've done your research." His hand came out. Not a gun. A knife. Cheap. Kitchen grade. shaking in his grip. "I'm not going to let you hurt anyone else," he said. That's when I laughed. Not loudly, just enough. "You misunderstand," I said gently. He lunged. It was messy. They always are. He'd never held a knife with intent before. His angle was wrong, his footing unstable. Fear makes people predictable. I sidestepped, caught his wrist, twisted. Bone snapped cleanly. He screamed. I drove my knee into his abdomen, and he folded forward, gasping. The knife clattered to the ground. He looked up at me with betrayal in his eyes. "You were supposed to be scared," he wheezed. I crouched in front of him. "I am," I whispered. His confusion was almost touching. Then I pressed 2 fingers against the side of his neck, right beneath the jawline. "There's a small artery here," I explained calmly. "Most people don't realize how exposed it is." He tried to scramble backward. Too late. When it was over, the corridor was quiet again. Construction zones are useful. So many blind spots. So many places for things to go unnoticed until morning. I stood and adjusted my coat, checked my reflection in a dusty metal panel. Composed. The news always describes monsters as chaotic, frenzied. They never imagine someone who clocks in on time, pays taxes, smiles at patients. They never imagine someone like me. As I reached the alternate exit door, sirens wailed somewhere above ground. Not for this. Not yet. I stepped out into the cold night air. Across the street, mounted to a lamppost, a fresh bulletin flapped in the wind. "Serial killer still at large." Beneath it was my face, clearer this time. They were getting closer. I pulled my hood up. Tomorrow night, I'd take a different train. After all, it's important to stay vigilant, especially when someone is following you. Thank you for the support. Truly, stay locked in and subscribe to Quick Creepy Tales for more short stories that linger long after they end. Until next time, keep your lights low.